Welcome back, nieces and nephews, to JEWAP, which stands for Just Everything with Auntie Pookie podcast. I'm your host, Sydney, or as many know me as Auntie Pookie. I hope you all have been doing great. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This podcast is a little bit of everything. Interviews, conversations, motivational advice, and just pretty much any questions that people ask me that they would like my opinion on. So on today's episode, it is Ask Auntie Pookie Everything, which means you will text in a question or email me a question and I answer it to the best of my knowledge or just how I feel about the situation. So on today's episode, a lot of people have been asking me mom questions, and I guess it fits perfect because it is going to be Mother's Day very soon. So the first question I was asked here is, how do you feel about being a mom? Well, many people know and some don't. Yes, I'm having a little one, a little baby boy, super ecstatic and scary all at the same time. How I feel about being a first-time mom, I'm not necessarily scared or anything, for the simple fact that I've been an auntie for 21 years. Yes, 21 years. So I got 21 years of experience of crying, boogers, poop, throw up, feeding babies, bathing babies, all of the whole nine. And obviously it's different because I can give the kids back. But I think that I'm super blessed to be able to have the support I have, including the lack of support that I've had. The people who are here for me, super amazing, super encouraging, and it's a blessing because it is a scary journey, even though I've been an auntie forever. I think that the best thing to do is to really work on yourself to be a better person so that you can be a better person, not only for yourself, but for your child. And also read, pray. And there's a show on, I think it's Hulu, maybe it's about parenting styles. And we watched it, my honey and I, and it was really good and educational for us to see different parenting styles and how we want to be as parents as well. And I think that, of course, knowing and understanding that you're never going to be a perfect parent, that helps, because every day as an individual, I'm growing. I have been through a lot of my life and just healing from that and going to therapy and journaling and all the stuff I'm doing to mentally prepare myself for myself. And not only that is, like I said, it's good to mentally get yourself ready for your child as well. I think that I'm super blessed and honored to have a kid at this age because I've been through a lot, but I've also worked through a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that the scariest thing for me is giving birth. And I laugh because my auntie and I were just having a conversation about birth, and I was just cracking her up, and she's like, oh my gosh, you're so crazy. And it's just, I've heard so many terrible things about hospitals treating people of color very badly. So I have a particular, what's the best word? Bias, I guess, to giving birth in a hospital or doing it at home because I don't want to get disrespected because of my skin color, which is really terrifying to think about. But it does happen, and that's really sad that we're still struggling with that. And so I think that's the worst for me, is just hoping I get fair treatment and hoping that if I stand up for myself, that like during birth, giving birth and whatnot, that I don't get perceived as hostile or angry black woman or someone who's just, ignorant and belligerent. So I've just been praying on that. And I think that, it's best to do your research as a first-time parent when it comes to everything that your child could have and your child will need, and what you will need at the hospital and what could happen at the hospital, and your birthing plan and packing things. I mean, it's just like preparing for war, but a good war, like an amazing war that you're about to go through. The next question here is, what are some things that you've enjoyed and disliked about pregnancy? Oh, a lot. I have a list. The saying is that every pregnancy is different, and it is true. It is true to the fullest, okay? So I found out I was pregnant, and I didn't know I was pregnant, but I knew, I was like, oh, maybe my period's coming, because, sometimes we get emotional, and we just sometimes we just don't know what the heck is going on in our mind in that moment. And then you're like, oh, next thing you know, your period comes. Not for me. I was so emotional. I was ready to quit my job. Like, true story. I was just over it. And then literally the next day, the day prior to all this emotions and all this, I went to get a pregnancy test. And then I had to get up for work. And then I took the test and I was freaking out. I was having a heart attack. Like, oh my God, it's just a joke. We're just kidding. Oh my God. What? Like, and so I was like, okay, let me get another test and let me see what happens. So I got another test and I was like, this is for real. So, that in itself was like a moment of, I was so terrified. Even though I'm a grown adult and my birthday is here in a couple days, I was still terrified because sometimes, and this is going to be on another podcast of how things happen out of the ordinary, but sometimes when things happen so fast, you panic and you're stressed out and you're going through all these emotions and it's just a lot. So I would say the pro and con of finding out I was pregnant was that I found out I was pregnant, but I was happy because some people can't have kids. So, first trimester, all I did was sleep. I slept a lot. If sleeping was a job, I would have got paid millions. And of course, the sickness and the tiredness and the emotions. Like, I think my first maybe month I was pregnant, I was so depressed. I was depressed every day. I was angry a lot. And it was bad. It was so bad. And I literally didn't know what I was going to do, like mentally. I was still going to therapy and I was talking to my therapist and I was freaking out. And by the grace of God, shout out to my therapist. She has been with me through so much crap. And I just appreciate her walking with me through this journey, especially now that I'm going to be 6 months. So I love her for just her encouraging words and her getting on me to get me together. So the sickness sucked because a lot of things I liked, I couldn't have, like bacon. My honey was cooking bacon one day. I said, oh, Lord, stop. I cannot do it. No. It was bad. I couldn't deal with lavender. There was a lot of things I couldn't eat. Like right now, baby hates veggies, but I can barely drink a smoothie, but he still doesn't like it. And, that was the part that I couldn't stand during pregnancy, but I still was, I was still happy, but still freaking out low key. And then the pro of everything, like when I saw my baby for the first time, when he was actually like growing and you could see something instead of looking at like a circle, you're like, what is that? It's a little halo. Side note, that's why I think God is so amazing, because in one of the ultrasounds, the baby was just a halo and it was just a blessing. So, after seeing him, I was super excited and it made my days better because I knew that like this is crunch time for me to make sure that I do what I need to do to be a great mother to my son. And they say, supposedly, when you have a son, it's because you need to be shown how real love is. And then if you have a daughter, that means you needed a best friend. And I have an incredible best friend. And so God blessed me with a boy for a reason. So yeah, that was amazing. Eventually, and I looked up stuff. I was like, oh, am I always going to be tired because I can't have coffee? I can't have this. I used to drink Bangs all the time. Best energy drink out there. Not advertising for them, but they're great. But if y'all want to sponsor me, holla at your girl in August when baby comes. But yeah, I had no energy. So second trimester was lit. Like one day I just woke up and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do everything. I can do all these things and blah, blah, blah. And I'm doing all these things. And it was so great because I have energy right now. Like I'm still in my second trimester, probably at the middle or end of it. I'm not really sure about the weeks of the semesters, as j.e.w.a.p would say. No, I'm kidding. But it was just amazing. And then this is so funny. So recently we had to do a long ultrasound and baby was not having it. He was like, no, I'm not going to listen. He grabbed his private parts, which was hilarious because I'm always saying these nuts. And I always say it as a joke. And it's like, what you do, your kid knows. It's funny. So there was that. And then he was punching like the little ultrasound machine. It was so funny. Like he's a little fighter in there, and it's really cool to see his personality. And he's going to be stubborn. Yes, like his parents, and it's okay. We're going to work on that. Yes. But it's a blessing. A con of baby growing is I have carpal tunnel. Now, not to scare anyone, yes, I've never had a carpal tunnel in my life, but it is something that can happen during pregnancy. Okay? For first-time moms that have no idea, let me tell you something. I'm in a wrist brace all day long with my dominant right hand, and then I have to wear both wrist brace at night on both wrists so that I can be good to go. But if you guys ever felt that tingling feeling like when your leg falls asleep, that's what my hand feels all day long. And it's so terrible. It does suck, let me just say. So that definitely is a challenge for me, or I said this is definitely a challenge for me because it's hard to sleep sometimes because my arms are falling asleep and all this stuff. But also, the blessing is get you a chiropractor. That's my blessing. Dr. K is amazing. He's so phenomenal. And he is going to work with me until baby's born. And then he's going to adjust me and the baby. Like, he's phenomenal, man. I'm super blessed to be able to work with him to help me be able to get through this pregnancy well. And the cool thing is like the first day he like cracked my back. He's like, oh, you're going to sleep well. I said, okay, got to sleep later on tonight. I had to work a couple hours later. So I was like, oh, I should be good. I could take a little nap. If I don't, I'll just sleep good tonight. Yeah, right. I go back to our apartment. I lay down because I've been laying on the floor for a while. I finally got to sleep in the bed. That's another pro and con, and we'll get there. I lay down. I don't even remember falling asleep. I woke up, drool all on my face, on my pillow. Best sleep I ever had in my life. And, well, I'm going to say since this pregnancy. And I told him, the next time I saw him, and he was cracking up. I said, I slept so good, I was drooling. So I do believe in healing your body and going to the chiropractor and doing stuff like that. Also, working out is really good for you. So I think that's a pro and a con, because who likes to work out a lot? Not me. Some people might. If you do, kudos to you. But sometimes I don't. So I do have my dance game, so I do that. Yes. Also, going back to sleeping on the floor, the bed, the couch, all that stuff. It's been very uncomfortable to sleep because baby does what he wants. He has his own mind. So for a while, I started sleeping on the floor. It was the most comfortable thing ever. And then I ended up sleeping on the couch. And then one morning, got carpal tunnel. So I'm like, okay, this sucks. So now I slept in the bed 3 times maybe, or twice. Not the greatest, but you got to do what you got to do to get comfortable. So it is what it is. The next question is, how did you feel when you told people that you were going to be a mom, and did people have problems with it? Well. It's funny because we didn't want to tell people for a while because they always say, wait till 12 weeks or whatever. Mind you, I couldn't. I was looking pregnant real quick, boobs huge, TMI, but I looked pregnant. And we told people, and we were freaking out a little bit because even though we're grown adults, it's still kind of scary telling your parents big news, I believe we told our friends, 2 of our friends and my brother and my sister-in-law, and they were super stoked and excited, and my brother cried because we're 6 years apart to the day, and his son's born on my birthday, and his other son is born a couple days after both of our birthdays. Super cool. So my brother cried because he was just super ecstatic, and so that was cool. And our friends, my best friend, she had to be cracking up. She's like, finally, my baby got a baby to play with. And, we've been friends since 6th grade. So it's just cool to now our kids are growing up when we grew up. So amazing. And then we told our other friends, who are our brother and sister, we told them. They were excited. They were so freaking excited because their kids, we love them to death, and they're our God kids. So it's just a blessing to tell them to. And then we told my grandma, my parents, my sibling, like we told all these people, right? And then we got to go to my nephew's birthday and told a bunch of other people. It was a blessing. Mostly everyone supported us and loved on us. Oh, and of course we told my future mother-in-law. She was ecstatic, and she knew we were having a boy because the Lord is a homie. I be telling y'all, telling you, that's her dog. But so then we told other people, and they were super excited. We didn't post anything on social media because we didn't want everybody in our business, but we eventually did, and it was cool. It was a great outcome. But so I told these particular people I work for, I will not disclose who they are, but one thing I want to throw out there is that we're human, and the people who are strong believers need to understand that God's a living God, and he accepts humans that make mistakes. Obviously, we're sinners. We sin every day. But when I told them, because I work for them, and I have stuff to do with them all year long, blah, blah, blah. At first, it didn't seem like a big situation. They just kept questioning us, right? Like, so this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, you can ask questions, but in the reality of life, as an adult, and I'm going to just say this for anybody, you don't have to answer questions you don't want to answer, okay? You can rebuttal to something else or change the subject and be like, you know what? I don't feel comfortable discussing that with you. So, telling them, and then weeks go by, then they want to have a conversation with me over the phone, basically making it seem like I was a terrible person having a baby outside of marriage. Now, if anybody knows me, Auntie Pookie was going to be an auntie forever, because I just love all my nieces and nephews, and there's so many of them. I mean, there are so many kids that I claim and take care of and hang out with and love on. So I was fine with just being an auntie. And also, I was really fine with adopting kids and doing foster care and all that stuff, because I've worked with kids since I was like 14 years old, I believe. So things don't go as you plan, okay? The Lord has his own plan for you. So, I did get discriminated against with them. They made it seem like I was such a terrible person, saying that there's particular things I can't do with them, with the work that we do, because I had sex before marriage and all that. And that's the thing. It's like, we're all human, and if people don't understand that, those are the type of judgmental Christians that keep people out the church, all right? And I get it to a point, because, you believe what you believe, and you want to make sure that you're following the law of the Lord, okay? But God is a loving God, and that's what we're supposed to do, is love on each other. So I have been discriminated against. I have, I have definitely have felt happy, but the people that are not happy for us, it's fine. I'm not tripping with them. It's just the way they treat you and how they act towards you and stuff like that. And what's crazy too is being pregnant. Everybody's nice. They're smiling at you. Oh my God, your belly. Oh my God, you're so cute. Like, everybody is really like nice, and they're so loving, and they're super sweet. The only thing that I cannot stand is don't touch me. Don't touch my belly. Like, ask me. And kudos to my girl. We saw her at this comedy show not too long ago. And I gave her a hug. She's like, may I? And I was like, of course. Like, and I feel like that's so respectful. Like, and this isn't even a question, but boundaries. When you're pregnant, you do not have to let people touch you. And if people get mad, it's your body, your rules. You can do what you want to do. I'm telling you, because people, I believe in vibes. Like, you ain't about to put your hood, depressing, terrible, evil vibe on my belly. My son ain't feeling that. Okay. So, boundaries, like, that's a pro and con. Let's go back. That's a pro and con. Pro is you can have people rub your belly, but the con is people think that they can touch you whenever they want. And no. We're not doing that. So, you got to have people respect your boundaries. And if they don't, be like, you can't touch me no more. Like, you don't respect my boundary, and I'm over it. And the last question is, will I do this again? Well, I crack up because every time I talk to people, I'm like, let me tell you something. I'm inventing a machine where the men are going to be able to get pregnant for us this time. And they can carry the baby and see all the crap we go through, okay? The acne, the back knee, the crack knee, like all of the stuff. They can deal with it, okay? But I definitely would do this again. I know what to prepare for. Indeed, I do. I really enjoy this moment. Like, it's still shocking to me that I'm having a baby. It's crazy. But I feel very honored to be a mom, and that God gave me this opportunity to be a mom, and that I'm having a little boy first. Like, I'm super ecstatic about that. I pray we have a little girl, not soon, because I can't have 2 under 2. Nah, Lord, I can't do it. So, I definitely would do this again. And I've been doing journaling on my journey, so it's really cool. And also, I just feel like, why not? If I'm able to, heck yeah, I want to have another baby. But I also do want to adopt some kids. And I know that's a long process, but I want to give another kid who doesn't have love, like the way that I give love. And I would love to share that with kids that aren't even my own, like just being an auntie, So I definitely would do this again. And I mean, the only thing I would hope different is, can I please not have carpal tunnel? That's it. I mean, that's it, Lord, hello, Lord, hello, Jesus. The next one, no carpal tunnel. Hallelujah. Yes. But most definitely. Thanks for tuning in. And if you guys have any other questions you want to ask, just reach out. I will put the number below the caption here once the podcast posts, so you can send in any kind of question, whatever you like, whether it's a hard question, a sad question, a deep question, whatever. I'm very open to having any conversations. And now as an adult, I don't care if people agree with my opinion, just because we all are entitled to our opinion. First Amendment. Hello. All right. Again, thanks for tuning in. You guys have a great day.